Hi, I'm Tom White. I am the founder and executive director of IBECC, the International Business Ethics Case Competition. This session is a general orientation session, especially for any of the teams who have not been involved before. I know this is kind of a tough time in the middle of the day. Actually, it depends where you are. We have teams that are, as far west as, west as California, as far east as Russia and Iran. And so the issue of the time zones that we were dealing with kind of became a complication. So obviously I'm recording this. I will post this as soon as it processes. So anyone who wants to look at it can. But, this time was sort of the best that we could figure out that might give everyone a chance at least to have one team member, take a look at things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about, particularly, as I said, for teams that have not been involved before, how we do things, what to expect over the next couple of days. And then if you have any questions, we'll do, actually there's a question already. I was going to say we can do a chat, but can we get captions? Okay. Good idea. Where do I? Okay, if I've never run captions before, if you can drop me a line and tell me how to do that, I will be happy to kick them in. You can either do that through the chat or the hold on. Okay, I'm looking. If anyone has the suggestion, by the way, just drop me a line in the chat. Participants, as I said, I haven't done chat captions before, so I'm not sure where that setting would be. My apologies for not having thought about that ahead of time, but I'm almost positive that if this becomes a problem, I'm almost positive that on the Zoom recording, the transcript comes up automatically. Okay, so mainly what I want to do is to walk you through the website where we have as much information as possible, because if there's anything there that you've missed or that you want to go back and check, that's really the best site for the best place for that. So let me share screen on that and walk you through that. Okay, so main thing you're going to be looking at here, where some of the key information is so there's the schedule. Everything's going to be live streamed. We'll show you where the links are for that. This is what we're doing now. Later today, 4 hours, 4 p.m. Eastern, US, we're doing a panel on the Fox Dominion case, which is going to be a very different conversation than it was going to be before the very surprising settlement announcement yesterday. But nonetheless, it'll be an interesting discussion because this is absolutely a historic case. For the presentations tomorrow, it's you can find things on the Thursday schedule. I've posted all the executive summaries that I've gotten from the teams. Now, everyone on the team should have received already a Zoom invitation that lets you participate as a panelist. If anyone wants to simply watch, friends, family, colleagues, just you click these links. We're running these as webinars as opposed to meetings, and so the individual invitations get you in as a panelist, which will let you speak, interact with the judges and the like. So that's all that information is here on that schedule, on that piece. There are then schedules for the Friday presentations. Sometime tomorrow, you'll receive links for that. These are the 10-minute presentations, and then there's also a separate schedule for the 90-second presentations. And that will be those links will be, for people who want to watch, will be posted there as well. But you can always get that kind of information just going back here. So that's Thursday, the main presentation, Friday, the 10-minute and 90-second presentations. On Monday, we'll let the judges process things over the weekend, and Monday we'll announce the results. Okay, so that's that. Now for basic information about IBECC Proceeds. This is, again, something fairly quick about how we do things. Each team is in a different division in each of the 3 competitions, the full presentation, the 10-minute and 90-second. I've tried to switch the divisions up as much as I could. I couldn't do that with the graduate. We have 6 graduate teams and then 17 undergraduate teams. I was able to mix up the undergraduate divisions. If I split the graduate division into 2, it would have been 2 3-person divisions. But normally what we do in each division, we award prizes to the top 2 teams. Well, the 6-person division will probably award teams to the top 3. We do have some cases where there's a 3-person division in, I think, the 90-second competition. There, what we might do is either just award something to the top team or a reduced prize to the second team. We want to have fairness, but we also want to encourage good work. So we're still sort of working on that. But main point is we don't have rounds. You're in a division, and the divisions, actually the easiest place to see the divisions, let me show you, that was on the original information that you got, but so this is actually the list of judges that we have that have currently signed up. I will post this link so you can check that out, but the different colors show what the divisions are, and I'll make sure to put that back up so that everybody can see those. The way things work, again, not only do we not have an overall winner and we have divisions. Clearly, we have lots of different judges, and that raises some important issues about how we do things fairly, because some judges are veterans, some judges are new, some judges are more strict, some judges are less strict. So we have what we call an uber judge, a senior judge who observes and manages the presentations in all of the divisions. So he or she does see all the presentations in your division, and he or she makes the call about the top teams. So there is some consistency. There. So that's one of the ways that we try to deal with the issue of fairness on that front. Okay, so I mentioned about the schedule. This just goes in what you already should know about the competitions, the teams, people have registered. Okay, resources. If you're still working on things, have a variety of categories. So we have, ethics resources here, a couple of articles about how you might proceed there. We have, as I'm sure you already know, we have tons of videos from former years. We have this definitely very important section that on presentation guidelines, which explains again how things goes into considerable detail, and the 10-second. Remember, there's no PowerPoint, no Q&A there. 90-second presentation. Just more here about how to handle the ethical issues, how to handle the financial issues, and a couple of important things. If you want to see what the judging form is, down at the bottom of this page, this is on the resources page. This will show you the judging form that judge is going to use. It is important that you appreciate the fact that we try to ask people to operate as you would in business. And so in talking about ethical issues, people in boardrooms do not talk about Plato, Aristotle, John Stuart Mill, the Bible, Kant, or whatever. I mean, so you have to do this from a sort of fairly practical standpoint, way of looking at things. And so as we've counseled teams for years, best way to do this, work off of the notion of the values that companies will post about and in their mission statement about what the company's values are. Okay, so presentation guidelines. Did that? Oh, this is something, if you have not watched these, you really should. We commissioned a special series of videos by Stacy Ferrati, who is a training and organizational consultant. She does work for major corporations all over the planet, and she's a great friend of IBECC and agreed to develop 4 videos. She did 3 before, and this year, came up with a 4th one for us that on how to do better presentations online, how to do better Zoom presentations, and these are only up during IBECC, and they can't be downloaded and saved. So definitely take advantage of that. Stacy is an excellent professional on this, and this is one of the distinctive things about IBECC is we have very close relationships with a number of folk in business with special talents. And if you have not taken a look at these, do so. This is under the Advice for Giving Zoom Presentations tab. 4 short videos, absolutely worth watching. Okay, so the Resources tab is something that you'll want to check out. Videos of past competitions, plenty of those. And okay, so I mentioned this. Okay, everyone's registered. So I think that's the main things off of the website. A couple other things I want to mention. You will, everyone on the team will be receiving individual invitations for the presentations. Now, if you have not gotten those for tomorrow, drop us a line at info@ibec.net and we'll check that out. We actually tried to send them out twice. Technology has been challenging this year for some reason, but you should have received one. If you have not, let us know and we'll resend those invitations. The invitations for the 90-second and the 10-minute, that is for Friday, will go out tomorrow. If you have not told us yet which member of your team is doing the 90-second presentation, please do so. Otherwise, we have to send the invitations for everyone, and that gets that will end up with way more people signing in to the webinar that would make it comfortable for everyone. The situation will be, I think I've mentioned, we have a senior judge. There'll also be 2 or 3 what we call day judges, people from different companies who can just squeeze in one session or another. Some are new, some are veterans, but they're highly motivated to be helpful. So those people will be, but as I said, person who makes the call is going to be the senior judge, the Uber judge. On Friday, you may or may not be in a session with judges. We're trying an experiment this year. In the past, we only had the day judges come in for Thursday, and then the Uber judges handled the 10-minute and the 90-second presentations. This year, we decided to invite some of the judges to participate on Friday. There's no judging form. Their job is going to be to listen and simply give feedback. Both in the 10-minute and the 90-second, they won't be asking questions, but we've asked them just to give feedback. Some sessions will have 1 or 2, some will not. As I said, this is an experiment, so we want to see how this goes. If you see other folks than the Uber judge there, that's why. If you are in a session where there's no one but the Uber judge, that's fine too, because as I said, this is an experiment. We're trying out how this works. I mentioned that if you have any friends, colleagues who want to watch the presentation, not only on Friday, not only on tomorrow on Thursday, but on Friday, those links will be up on the schedule page. People just have to click those and they should be taken to the as audience to the webinar as you did on, for this one. One of the things this year is that we were lucky in getting some corporate support that we were hoping for, which has let us increase the prize money. Last year we gave away about $10,000 in prize money. This year we're aiming to give away about $20,000. Now, because we give lots of awards, that is the top teams in all the divisions in all 3 competitions, no one prize is a lot, but if you do well overall, if 3 competitions, that can add up. Also, for example, even though only one member of the team is doing the 90-second presentation, we consider that to be a team event. And so that we recognize that by every member of the team then gets a prize. So those are the main things that I had to say. Are there any questions that anyone would have? Best thing to do, either Q&A or type them into chat. We'll give that a minute. And whoever asked about the, I'm going to write myself a note right now about the captions. Thank you. I'm guessing, since I have not been able to find this on my menu, that it's a settings issue on the, perhaps on the invitation, and I'll find that out. I'll also consult one of our tech people who probably knows that answer better than I do. Okay, Q&A. Do you recommend focusing on one specific company, or can we discuss a general industry issue? You can definitely discuss a general industry issue. If the topic you're discussing, in fact, is, but let me put it this way: most topics that teams start working on are representative of the industry, and part of the way, sort of a good strategy, for the team is to make the pitch that you want your audience to become a leader in the industry and to address things in that way. So it's your call. It becomes the strategy of the team, but you don't have to feel limited in that regard. Okay, second question: can the other members of the team watch the 90-second presentation? Absolutely. Anyone can watch any of the presentations. If you go to let me show you where that's going to be again. If you go to the, okay, so the way it's set up now, if you go to the website, you go to IBECC 23, if you go to the Thursday one, the way I have this set up now, so on Thursday, the links to watch the Thursday sessions are all up. So click here to watch session, click here to watch session. I haven't put them up yet, but on, okay, our schedule, Friday, both here and then the 10-minute one, under here is where the links will be to watch those sessions. So yes, absolutely, anyone can watch them, and both the 10-minute and 90-second, that's where you'll find those links. Is it mandatory to use PowerPoint for the presentation, or can we use any other presentation application? As long as it works on the screen, do whatever you want. We have a tech person who manages each session. So the 2 people in charge are the Uber judge and a tech person. The tech person's job is to help you make things like that happen. And if there's a glitch, we also have actually a team of 5 tech people, because we run 5 sessions at a time. If there's a problem or a question, we all use Slack to communicate with one another during the session in order to try to fix any problems that may come up. So yeah, you're not limited, and in fact, you don't need to use any presentation software at all. You can just do it speaking to an audience, and there's really something to be said for that. Okay, can the other members of our team? Yes. Again, you can. Other members of the team can watch the 10-minute, can watch the 90-second. Anyone on any part from any part of the planet who has access to the internet can watch the presentations. Our only limit is that we have a Zoom webinar license that lets us handle 500 people. So if you have 500 friends, let them know, or 499 because you're already going to be on. Let them know and they can watch. Okay, let me check chat. There's nothing in chat. We do have Q&A. I haven't seen anything, any other questions. That's answered. Okay, I know you're all busy, so I don't want to keep you any longer than necessary. I'll just give it one more minute in case anyone has any other question. If anything does come up after the session, just drop us a line at info@ibec.net. Thanks very much for your participation. This, by the way, is our most international event that we've had. This is our 26th event. We started in 1996 at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles as an in-person event. We were there for probably about 10 years. Then we partnered with the Ethics and Compliance Officer Association, the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota, and as well as LMU, and we actually went from city to city for a few years. We were in a number of different cities. We were in Seattle, we were in Chicago, we were in San Diego, we were in Boston. In 2019, Loyola Marymount decided to spin off its own competition, focusing on sustainability issues. We became an independent 501c3 headquartered in Western Massachusetts, and we were going to be in person in Boston in 2020, and the pandemic hit, and so that's what pushed us online. So we've been online since then. We were hoping to be back in person this year, but there was a significant uptick of the most recent COVID subvariant in Massachusetts in February, when we had to make decisions about whether we were going to be in person or online. So we're online again, but we're hoping to be back in person next year. Okay, some other questions have come up. Okay. Is there a specific topic, legal, ethical, financial, that judges focus on the most? Yes, they focus on the ethical the most. That's a great question. Thanks for asking that. We do expect that teams cover legal and financial issues, but this is not a bit. You aren't submitting a business plan, so there's supposed to be a lot of detail financially. Legally, 9 times out of 10, frankly, as you saw yesterday, with the Dominion Fox case. Most legal issues end up to be dollar issues, but overall, yeah, the ethical issues are the most important thing. Your job is to be describing those factors and to make a case for the fact that your solution is one that works ethically. Are you penalized for having a presentation that is less than 25 minutes? No. In fact, don't go. Short is always good. Don't go too short, but you don't want your audience falling asleep. You want to leave your audience wanting more. So you are not penalized. You also aren't penalized for going long, but you lose an audience at a certain point. I've always recommended to the teams that I've coached to aim for something around 22, 23 minutes. It gives you the heft of your presentation. But one thing that judges do find impressive is during the Q&A, if you roll out information that you didn't have in the presentation, it shows you have depth. Something else you can do if you get concerned about the length of your presentation is when you talk about something during the presentation, you can say, we actually have more about this. We looked into this more. If you want to know more about that, ask us during the Q&A and we'll go into that. So you don't have to feel that you need to give all the information that you've researched during the presentation. There's some benefit to holding it back. It keeps your audience engaged, keeps them listening, keeps them curious about what else you may have found that they'd be interested in. So don't worry about that. Do we need a financial analysis if it isn't very relevant to our topic? Financial only in the sense that, another good question, because sometimes people get carried away with this. You have to look at it this way. In business, people have, the way we're working with things, a variety of responsibilities. The company is responsible for not breaking the law. The Company has a duty to employees, stakeholders, shareholders to be profitable, and company has to be ethical. The financial side of things can be more, look, the problem that we're talking about is that driven by financial issues. For example, the Fox Dominion case is a really good one, because the problem that Fox got into was that they were driven by making their, and I mean, there's no question about this, they were very plain. Their strategy was to placate an audience, to give the audience what they wanted. Well, it turns out what they gave the audience was not true, and it now is costing them, you know, like $800 million. So that was a financial driver in that situation. Other companies looking at this now are going to say, gosh, the penalties, the financial penalties for not towing the line in terms of truth and accuracy, if you're, you know, if you claim to be a news organization, can be really steep. And so it's more the financial dimension of it. There will be, or another factor, if you're offering a solution, how expensive is your solution? Is it a cheap expense, you know, short term, long term? Is it really expensive? Is it worth it? So it's more kind of the broad strokes of the financial issue, rather than something that is sort of detailed financial analysis. And if that doesn't answer the question, let me know. And we'll give it another minute or so to see if there are any follow-ups on any of that. So as I was saying, you know, we're planning to be in person in 2000. The pandemic, you know, forced us online. This will be our 4th year. We hope to be back in person next year, but we did have the you know, the unfortunate instance of a uptick in COVID in January and February here in Western Massachusetts. But it did make it possible for us to get a very international field of teams and judges. The you know, teams come from the US, Canada, the UK, Russia, Iran, I think Spain, or there's another country. No, I think that's just those countries. The judges come from the US, UK, Spain, France, Italy, Greece, Dubai. So we've had really a nice range on that. Okay, another question. What is the best way to answer if we definitely do not know an answer to the question? Another great question. You admit you don't know. You know, don't try to fudge anything. Don't try to pretend. But the best strategy is, you might say, you know, that's a good question. We didn't think about that. Our team will be happy to look at it and get back to you. So, which is what people do in business. You know, nobody expects you to know all of the answers, but if somebody may have come up with a, gee, did you think of this? And you might think, wow, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. So you say, no, don't know that. But don't just stand and say, no, I don't know that. Say, because you want to take the initiative. You want to say, don't know that. Thanks for asking. We'll look into that and we'll get back to you. These are all really good questions, by the way. Okay, we'll give it another minute to see if there's anything else. Okay, not seeing anything. But as I said, if you have any follow-up questions, drop us a line. This session is being recorded. Once it processes, we'll post it so that if anyone else on your team wants to look at it, it will be available on, let me show you right where it will be so that there's no confusion. We'll put it on the overall schedule tab right here where it says overview of the competition. Click here to watch. We're going to change that to click here to, to watch the recording. So that's where that will be, under the today, Wednesday 9th at noon Eastern Daylight. Okay, seeing no other questions, thank you very much. Good luck. Thanks again for participating, and we'll see you tomorrow and Friday.